Let me just start out by saying that Michael Bishop was absolutely awesome at Kansas State. Extremely entertaining. I loved watching number 7 in purple and silver play. Bishop was an electric runner with the football, and he also had an absolute cannon for an arm. Now, if you ask me who I thought had the greatest arm ever, I'm not sure who I'd say, but just for the heck of it, I would say Michael Bishop. But to be honest, part of that is due to my bias and love for Bishop. And also, I just want to mention someone that no one is really thinking about. But in essence, I think Bishop can somewhat be in the conversation for the greatest arm ever. But anyways, sooner or later, I had to do a video about Michael Bishop, who was one of the best college football players in the 90s while with the Kansas State Wildcats in 1997 and 1998. So when talking about Michael Bishop in Manhattan, Kansas, I have to begin with Bill Snyder, who became the Wildcats head coach in 1989. Snyder was taking over a program that was one of the most difficult to win at, but beginning in 1993, Kansas State would begin to be a consistent top 25 team. Snyder was previously the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Iowa. I thought he was very good at getting production from the quarterback position and creating his offense toward his quarterback's strengths. Snyder was able to build K-State into one of the better college football programs with his offensive mind and recruiting junior college players. Out there was a very talented junior college quarterback who never lost a game during his 2-year JUCO career at Blinn College, and that quarterback was Michael Bishop. Now, according to BringOnTheCats.com, Bishop, he was getting several offers from major programs, but they all wanted him to play defensive back. Then the article mentioned that Snyder saw something special in Bishop and wanted him to play quarterback. As a result, Bishop, he became the Wildcats quarterback in 1997. Snyder, he did his thing, and it was fun to watch. Kansas State, they started off at 3-0 but lost on the road by 30 to Nebraska, as this was when Nebraska was on another level than everyone else. But anyways, Kansas State, they went on to win their next 7 to finish regular season at 10-1. This led to Kansas State being invited to the Fiesta Bowl, which is part of the Bowl Alliance system at the time, and they're invited in essence as an at-large team thanks to some lobbying from Bill Snyder. Ultimately, Michael Bishop and his Kansas State team defeated Donovan McNabb and his Syracuse team easily 35-18. In 1997, Bishop, he was the Big 12 Offensive Newcomer of the Year and was second team All Big 12. Heading into the 1998 season, Kansas State, their preseason ranked at number 6 in the AP poll, but I don't remember a lot of talk surrounding Michael Bishop. But anyways, Kansas State, led by Bishop, was tremendous on offense and also on defense and special teams as they routed 8 of their first 9 opponents. Now perhaps this was not against the toughest competition, but during the stretch, Bishop and company, they did destroy Ricky Williams in Texas, more on him later on. But anyways, Kansas State, they were looking extremely dominant in all 3 phases. Next on the schedule for Kansas State, who was ranked number 1 in the coaches poll, would be Nebraska, as this was one of the most anticipated games I was looking forward to seeing, as I wanted to see this game so much. Now the Cornhuskers, they already lost 2 games this season, but from my point of view, they still seem to have that Nebraska aura despite the 2 losses and Tom Osborne retiring before the season. I think K-State was favored in this game, as it was incredible to think that Nebraska was an underdog during this period. I really wanted to see this game, but instead the game was on ABC at 2:30 Central Time, meaning I had to watch some stupid Big Ten game. I don't remember which one, but I had to see it because of the regional coverage on ABC at the time. Anyways, Bishop and the Wildcats, they won. Huskers fans, they might say that the Wildcats won due to a face mask penalty in the 4th quarter that somehow wasn't called, but nonetheless, Kansas State, they defeated Nebraska. This was huge. And then they won on the road against Missouri to finish the regular season at 11-0. So here's the situation with one final Saturday of college football left to play. Bishop and K-State, they were first in the coaches poll, second in the AP poll, but 3rd in the BCS standings, meaning they'd be left out of the Fiesta Bowl playing for a national championship, as there wasn't a playoff back then. But as mentioned earlier, there was one more Saturday of college football left to play, and it started with UCLA, who was number 2 in the BCS standings, losing to Miami. Then it was the Big 12 championship, and all K-State had to do was win against the Aggies of Texas A&M, and they would be playing for a national title. I wanted K-State to win this game so much. I became a fan during the Chad May days of Kansas State, as I loved the purple and silver uniforms. But then due to Michael Bishop, I became a K-State fan even more. But what subsequently transpired was some devastation as K-State lost to Texas A&M in double overtime. Later that night, it was tough for me to watch the Tennessee-Mississippi State SEC Championship game, but I just want to mention that the Kansas State football program, a program that I doubt anyone could have imagined would be playing for a national title, got so close. After the loss, Kansas State, they really dropped the bowl position and then lost to Drew Brees and Purdue in the Alamo Bowl. Michael Bishop, he did win the Davey O'Brien Award as the nation's top quarterback and finished second for the Heisman Trophy behind Ricky Williams. Now, I thought Bishop, he should have won, as I'm biased, as I mentioned earlier, but I thought the love was much more evident toward Williams than Bishop, and that was the college career of Michael Bishop. Michael Bishop was incredibly talented. Now, I know he had his flaws as a pocket passer, and he didn't have the prototypical quarterback size, but it was shocking to see Bishop get drafted in the 7th round by the New England Patriots. I wonder how scouts and offensive coaches would have viewed Bishop now as a QB in today's game, but it was surprising to see where Bishop was drafted. Now, to be honest, I thought Bishop only threw one pass in his NFL career. He actually threw 9 career passes, but anyways, as for that one pass he threw, it was memorable for me. So let me set this up quickly. The Patriots, they had the ball on the Colts 44, 3 seconds left to play before halftime. Now at this time, the Pats, they had Drew Bledsoe, and one of his best attributes was his arm strength. But instead of Bledsoe throwing the Hail Mary, Bill Belichick, he went to the player who had the better arm in Michael Bishop, and Bishop's first and only career touchdown pass came on this Hail Mary, and I've remembered this so vividly. But after the 2000 season, Bishop was briefly with the Packers, then went on to play in NFL Europe, the Canadian Football League, and played arena football. But this video is about Michael Bishop, and his 2 years at Kansas State in 1997-1998 was great. A part of me really wants to say that he was one of the greatest college quarterbacks ever. Now, I'm not a big Hall of Fame guy, although I have talked about it in a couple videos. I'm definitely not a college football Hall of Fame guy at all. But at the time of doing this video, Michael Bishop, he's not in the College Football Hall of Fame, as he's only been on the ballot. And one day, I hope he gets into the College Football Hall of Fame, because I think he's been easily forgotten, but also Michael Bishop, and I have to say this again, was absolutely awesome for Kansas State, and I don't care, I'll just say it. He had the best arm I ever saw, although my brain is trying to tell me otherwise. Real quick, I just want to thank all those who have supported 90 Sports Nostalgia. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and check out the links below for Patreon and merch. Thank you so much. Michael Bishop with the 1997 and 1998 Kansas State Wildcats football team.